Zerg players, the greediest of our enemies. They're out there skipping Zergling speed, taking fast third bases, and they're getting away with it. Well, no more! Tonight we will feast on roasted drone flesh and revel in the death of greedy Zergs, because we are going to be talking about the TvZ BBQ party opening. Let's take a look at a very quick excerpt here from the GSL. We have Alive playing against Bial going for this specific opening. Now, this build order is all about using the mobility of Hellions, about using a medevac so you can drop Hellions or elevator them and turn them into Hellbats, combined with the Liberator to hit a Zerg from absolutely any possible angle. It's all about maneuverability, flexibility, and it is especially powerful for destroying those Zergs who've started skipping Zergling speed in the recent times. So what we're going to see is, you can see on the minimap, there is a Reaper going through the left-hand side. He's going to jump in the main for a scout, maybe a bit of damage while this Hellion poke comes in. However, he's playing Bial. Bial actually defends the build almost perfectly. He's then got a Reaper going into the main base now. The drop is poking back in on the natural, but it looks like it's just going to unload. And he's going to morph Hellbats at the front, which we'll see in just a moment. It's Hellbat time, boys and girls. There we go. 6 Hellbats are going to be coming in with that medevac. And a Liberator is coming across the map behind this as well. He's going to pick up 2 Hellbats and actually elevate them into the main, making things really hard. The Zerg doesn't know where to defend. And then he just says, oh, you're up there? It's fine. I can just pick up, come back to the low ground and start harassing this base. And this is just one of the many different ways you can use this maneuverability. It really is your own sandbox. Just have fun with this style and do whatever the hell pops into your mind. It's a really fun way to play. There's a very, very high skill ceiling on it because you've got a lot of fast units, but you can always play it in a simpler manner and just hit the front with the Hellbats, drop the Liberator on the natural, that sort of thing. And that really is what we're talking about today. So let's go in, let's look at a replay of myself doing the opening. If you guys want to see the written form of the build or follow the build order along in-game on an overlay, go check out the spawning tool link. It's pinned to the top of the comment section below the YouTube video. And yeah, it's got all the information there, including this replay of me executing the build after studying the timings many times. So let's fast forward a little bit in this game and let's take a look at the build order. Now, it's a standard gas first opening. This is the most common opening right now for Terran players, but especially if you want to open Hellions, you want to get your factory down very quickly. It's identical to a lot of TVP openings and even the TVT expand builds as well. So this is a very familiar opening for a lot of Terran players. So it's depot, gas, racks. Now, in the version that I've written down in the spawning tool link, it's all the timings that Alive did. Now, Alive didn't SCV scout in his version. He just relied on the Reaper to scout. However, I'm going to show you guys a version where it's all slightly delayed because I want to go for that SCV to check if my opponent's expanded or not. I don't want to get surprised by anything. So you're going to go for a command center on 20 supply. So it's orbital 19, Reaper 19, orbital, command center goes down on 20. Then you go a factory on 20. You start queuing up SCVs again, dropping mules. You go refinery, reactor, and then you want to go for a 22 supply second depot. I think I'm slightly late on it in this game. You can see I have enough money there, so that depot is a few seconds late. Nothing to split hairs over though. So your Reaper should harass. Of course, I'm playing against an easy AI, so this replay is all about the build order. We don't really care what I'm doing with my units. You immediately swap the factory and the barracks, start Hellion production, and that has to be non-stop Hellion production. That's your priority. You go immediately for a starport. When you can spare the money, you build 2 Marines, because those Marines are just going to help you deny any overlords sitting in your base. Just give you, make it a little bit harder for the Zerg to see everything you're doing. You're going to rally those Hellions across the map, put the pressure on. As soon as your starport's done, immediately go into medevacs. And you want to be building a supply depot here at 39 supply. So what I do is I actually rally the starport SCV down to the natural. We can go back 20 seconds and see that. So that SCV goes down to the natural and starts my wall off with those depots. There we go. So constant Hellion production, clear up any Zerglings on the map, try to harass as much as you can depending on your own mechanical skill level. And as this medevac comes across the map, you can tell I'm a pleb. You want to load up 3 Hellions into that, same way Alive did it. Drop with that. Meanwhile, your other Hellions just kind of chill and defend your wall, or if you're sure your opponent's not pushing out, you can keep pressuring with them. And behind this, you start an armory. About the time that medevac's popping out, at about 3 minutes 45, 4 minutes. You also then want to start stim. And you queue up a Liberator immediately after the medevac and rally it across the map as well. I was a little bit slow to do that this game. Now, right around 4 minutes 30 is important. After about 8 Hellions, at most 10, you can adjust it slightly if you want. You do want to lift your factory. So notice I built 6 Hellions this game. Normally you'd build 2 more. But it really comes down to your own preference. And then you want to lift this off the reactor and start building more reactors with it. Now the standard response here is what I'm going to show you guys, but you don't need to use the standard response. You can follow up in any order you want. You can get 4 more barracks, go for an all-in. You can go for engineering bays first. For me, I'm doing the sort of greedy version, which Alive did, where he goes 3rd command center, then double engineering bay, and then starts building extra barracks. And you want to be using these reactors that you've lifted off or you've built with these structures, and you want to build these barracks on these reactors, because it's not time. You don't have enough money to start building medevacs and widow mines, and there's no point building them because they need a lot of marines and marauders before they're actually effective. So you use your starport in your factory to build add-ons for a little while, and then you go up to your 5 barracks. Of course, you don't need to add an armory because you've already got one from earlier, and you are at this position. In the meantime, as I said before, you can be pressing the front, dropping Hellions in the main. There is an unlimited number of ways that you can do everything that you need to do. I look like I had shit. I didn't plan to put the camera on myself, but then I realized I didn't just want to leave that on the victory screen. So you guys can do anything you want with this build. Really quick show today, just going over that. So what are the key notes and analysis? Remember, do go straight for that Hellion drop. Your benchmark for that is hit at about 4 minutes 20. And why is this build so good against Zergs that skip Zergling speed and delay it? Because a lot of Zergs have been doing this where they go pool hatch, or they go just 3 hatcheries straight away. And they delay Zergling speed until 5 minutes because that's when the 2 medevac stim drop hits. And they just a few queens for defending up to that point. So with this Hellion drop hitting at 4 minutes 20, you will have about a 30-40 second window, sometimes 50 seconds before Zergling speed finishes. And those queens are going to be like waddling after your boosted medevac, your Hellions racing through their bases, and you will roast so many drones. And you don't even need to kill a lot of drones, but if you get even 3 or 4 there immediately, that's great, because then you can get those Hellions in the medevac out, morph Hellbats, start doing all sorts of cool things. Sometimes you really siege up the low, you attack their 3rd base to pull them down there, and then you elevate a 4 Hellions into the main, and you morph those all into Hellbats, and you're just like, oh my god, your opponent's totally surprised. There's so many different ways you can do this, and like I said at the start, this build, this opening, it is all about giving you every possible opportunity to create a barbecue party, to roast the shit out of drones. Your Liberator will come up in the midst of this, it'll siege up on a mineral line, and it really forces the Zerg to be incredibly map aware and incredibly good at multitasking and having their units in the right position. Because a lot of Terrans are frustrated, queens seem to defend everything. Well, guess what? Let's just go where the queens aren't. Let's attack 3 bases at once. The queens can't be in the right position all the time, and you will have a lot of success with it. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this. I think it's a really good opening. I'm doing it every game on ladder, though I still suck at it at the moment. I find myself some games just massacring drone lines. It's insane. So hopefully you guys enjoy this style. Nice, quick daily for you all. Check out the build order in the YouTube comments. Download the build order real-time advisor app as well from Overwolf, the spawning tool build advisor app, and that thing's really cool. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Don't forget to hug a watermelon, kick a walrus, and of course, punch a watermelon to the moon. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.